is?
Too large of a problem.
Too large of a problem. And in fact, drug abusers will relapse. If you get sterilized, there's no relapse. You are not going to be having the children. What were the average number of pregnancies that the people that went to see her had? They had 5 pregnancies, and how many of them ended up in the foster care system?
2.
I think it was 2, and we don't know exactly from the article what happened to the other 3. So with this in mind, now what was this society, what society was her practice compared to?
Eugenics, Hitler, Germany.
Hitler's Germany, and these people that were drug addicted women were considered or compared to what specifically in the article? Like spaying dogs?
Right.
Yeah, and basically saying if you don't want a dog to have puppies, then you get the dog spayed. If you don't want to have crack addicted women to have crack addicted babies, then you sterilize them so that it cannot happen. What was the biggest criticism of her?
Her target market was poor black women.
Yeah, it was disproportionately minorities, particularly black, and I think the article said that it was about 3 times, her clients were 3 times, the black clients were 3 times the percentage of who she saw versus what their actual percentage in the population was. So if the population was like 12, maybe 35% of her clients were basically going to be black. In this regard, is it legal?
Yes.
Why?
Because she's not from a government institution, she's privately funded, and these people are going to her willingly.
Yeah, these people are actually exercising conscious choice. And the argument that some of you had made was, as long as they choose to do this and nobody is forcing them and the government is not involved, this is fine. Others of you said, wait a minute, somebody that's drug addicted is not exercising free will at all. They're thinking about using that $200 for the next fix. And if in fact, just because they get sterilized doesn't mean that they're still not going to generate, sexually transmitted diseases and things like this. So with this in mind, when you put this into context, some argue she's preying on these women. Others would suggest, hey, you know what, she's not just preying on them, but they might get cleaned up and they might actually decide that they want to have kids later on. Others are saying they cannot control their bodies, and in fact, you know what, this is the best thing for the potential kids that they could have, for them and for the community as a whole. So that's what that was. And in fact, she is still doing this. She's got that presence at the time of the article. I believe it was in 39 states.
It's not that she has an office, right? It's like food trucks, you said.
Her truck.
And she's got a van. Yeah, and what did the van say?
With blue eyes, maybe with
Blue eyes, and it said she's got her father's eyes and her mother's addiction, and she's got this high-tech equipment. She will educate
And she
you.
brought her own crack baby with her.
That's right. So what was the question about her being racist or not?
She had a black
She had a black husband and 3 adopted black children.
I think it was 4. I think she had adopted 4 black crack-addicted babies, and one of the sons actually went around with her in the van. Yes.
The thing is that who funds her? The people who fund her?
It wasn't clear, but
You
it was.
said it was a right-wing conservative.
It was conservative, right-to-life people, and in fact, it was a little shady as far as what the article said, but they do fund her generously to drive around and do this. She's got billboards and everything.
Because she's getting paid through them.
Yes, she would be getting paid through them.
Oh, so she makes money doing
Yeah, this is her
What
job.
she's making.
But she's a peer when you think about it. She's not part of the government, but she is enacting change every time somebody takes the offer. And she also sterilizes men, she pays men to be sterilized. She doesn't pay them as much because they're not the carriers, but obviously,
Right.
they could have an impact on this
But
too.
with that, because I know you made a point that, I made a point in class that it's expensive for sterilization, like if you want to get that permanently done, and then you said that some states
That's
cover
right.
it at cost or do that birth control, so it's like, for how can these addicts afford to get sterilized, but our tax dollars are actually paying them to do that, and then she pays these people?
Well, the argument would be that you're saving so much money by somebody not having 5 children and 3 of them ending up in the foster care system, that even if sterilization is expensive, it's not as expensive as that. And in fact, North Carolina does give long-term birth control. They will implant it in you for free, and then the crack-addicted woman could get the $200. But if you want it removed before it no longer works, you would have to pay for the cost of the removal, which would be more than $200.
I'm just surprised how come it's already mentioned about like cop cars following the van at all,
No.
try to catch these crack addicts.
No, No, I've never heard anything
He's-
about that,
he's
although
right,
that
he
actually
knows
makes
that.
sense, that makes sense. Did y'all have any questions from articles? Pretty good. Be as specific as you can, and like I said, I'm gonna sit down and write the exam tomorrow. I'll send out something tomorrow afternoon that'll basically break down some of the things that I remove, and some of the things that whether it be articles, whether it be terms, or whether it be questions. I have a feeling that very few of the terms are gonna be removed, because there really aren't that many. There will probably be some articles that will be. And like I said, for some of them, make sure that you can tell me the story, and for others, kind of put together the theme. You know, a women's theme, or a children's theme, or a socialization theme, or a political party theme, and there would be several of those. And as I sit down with it on Saturday, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. And some of the short answer questions are probably gonna be 5 points. Some of them are probably gonna be 10, because you've got some bigger categories. And what I'm also thinking is it's probably gonna be about 2/3 multiple choice, about 1/3 short answer. And if I give you 6, say 7, and require you to answer 7 short answers, you'll get to pick from, say, 11 of them, so you don't have to answer them all. Anybody with anything else?
When are you gonna
Well-
post the grades for
I'm gonna add midterm grades on Monday, and if you wanna know what the discussion board grade is, send me an email this weekend, and I'll try and email you back before the exams. I'm gonna be a little bit busy with the exams this weekend, but I'm gonna do my best to finish that tonight. Yes?
Does that mean our exam will not count our midterm?
Yeah, they required the midterms to be in on Tuesday, and I don't like to do this, but yeah, I've gotta get them, I've gotta get the midterm grades in Monday. I'm sorry, the exam's not until Tuesday, so it's actually afterwards, yeah. Anything else? Good luck. I'll see y'all on Tuesday. You can hit it down.